So the Audi S6 is the 4-door, 5-passenger executive rocket ship. It's subtle. Sometimes subtle is boring. It's not totally boring, but it's not S7 exciting. And to have a little bit of excitement with this car, you know, the S6 can stay to the highways. We brought this bad boy out to El Mirage. Come along with us.
So, the Audi S6 likes to prowl on the highways around the world. It's super comfortable. It's a great cushy cruiser. It's got that 450 horsepower, 4-liter turbocharged V8 engine. That's a great combination. It's nice to have an additional passenger in the back too if you want. But if it's my money, and it is a little bit more money, I'm getting the S7 because I like to have a little bit more fun than the S6 affords. Even though they're basically the same car, there's something about the shape of this one that endears it to doing dumb shit like this. This is the Mirage Dry Lake Bed. There are no speed limits here. So, let's see how fast we can go. The crazy thing about this place, though, is the sense of where everything is. You get that whole watery effect in the distance, that Mirage, the Mirage, and then you get onto this smoother stuff and it's wide open. There's some RVs in the distance. A plane buzzed us earlier, but this place is pretty neat. Kick up a big old rooster tail behind you. It's a whole lot of fun. I was just doing about 110, 115 as I was talking, by the way. So I'm going to turn this car around and we'll give it some more speed. We'll talk about it a little more. So for 2016, Audi has revived the fascia of this car, front and rear. They've added LED taillights, but most notably, they've upped the power. And that's what we like to hear about, is more power. I believe this can make the 0 to 60 run in under 4 seconds, but we're already way above 60. Light hands on the steering wheel, and you just kind of go for it. Car's moving around a little bit because of the wind, but you know, it's otherwise pretty nice and calm in this cabin as I'm doing 140. Let's back it down a little bit, shall we? It's pretty fun though. This car's stable. It's got dynamic driving modes, so you can adjust the suspension, the air suspension. You can adjust the steering, the transmission, the engine. Finally though, for me, one thing I really like about this car is the fact that Audi has fitted it with an optional sporty exhaust. It sounds so much better than the regular or the former S7 or, you know, the regular A7. There's actual noise back there. That's one thing that Audis always seem to be missing, is some noise. It cackles on downshifts. It's not as aggressive and powerful as the RS7, but it shouldn't be, because that thing's a monster and you pay monster money for it and you get a monster car. This car though, they've done a pretty good job of making it more than it was. The thing about this car though, it doesn't really compete with the E63s and the M5s of the world. It doesn't have as much power. It's not as insane. And again, that's kind of Audi's thing. They don't really go insane with their cars. And I think the people who buy their cars appreciate that. That's what they want out of their machines. And that's what Audi gives them. Does sound pretty good though, huh? So much better. This place is fun. One question people are gonna have though, is this worth the extra money over the S6? I don't know. The S6 is already expensive. The one I was driving was $82,000. This car's $93,000. It does have the sport differential. It does have the sport exhaust that I mentioned. So it's got a lot of extras and some good features. It's got heated and cooled seats. Besides the speed and the, you know, the power and all the good looks on the outside, this car is nice on the inside. It's got very comfortable seats with these bolsters that kind of squeeze you as you turn the car on. I mentioned the cooled seats. It's got a nice Bang & Olufsen sound system. It's got a nice, you know, wood and carbon fiber trim can get old and annoying. This has almost I mean, not almost, it is. It's a pinstriped interior trim, and I think it's kind of cool. It's different. Now, backseat legroom, not as good as the S6. That's to be expected. Additionally, there's only 2 seats back there instead of 3, so you're giving that up. But you're getting a little bit more style. So style always, you know, form versus function. Which one do you want? That's what you got to pick here with the S6 and the S7. The good news is you're not going to make a bad choice. That's nice. Either way, you wind up with an all-wheel drive 450 horsepower car with one of the few Audi Volkswagen transmissions that I enjoy. This one seems to handle itself quite nicely in normal driving mode, which normally they just are super aggressive about finding the fuel economy, so shooting up to 6th and 7th gear. This one seems to drive nice and smoothly. In sport, it's a little herky-jerky when you let off the gas because it's holding the gears, but you got the paddles and you can just shift it yourself. It's a good combination of both. You've got big brakes, which goes with the big power, so you've got a lot going on for you here. You're not allowed to drift here though, but we couldn't drift in this thing anyway. It's so deceiving though to figure out where your braking points are. That's why it's helpful to have this nav screen and I can see, oh yeah, the off-road portion is ending and there's campgrounds up here, so I should back it down. Are you recording or no?